We have released a new version of Naviate Structure for Revit 23, 24 and 25. We have a new feature called Tag from Template and improvements to new rebar numbering. You can read more about the new feature and improvements on the release page on naviate.com. In Naviate Structure, we have a new feature called Tag from Template. Tag from Template will help you place tags and automatically position them in the best available location to avoid clashes and overlaps, and it will do that following the preferred positions you have specified in a template. So to get started, I have to go in and select which template I want to use. And here I can select from templates in the cloud that we provide. I can also download a template to edit that, or you can select local templates that you create yourself. So in this example, I'm going to use the cloud template. And when this is loaded, I can go to Tag from Template and run the tool. And it will place tags according to that template on all of the families that I have in my product that also are tagged in the template. And I will get a report which will stipulate where it couldn't manage to tag. So for example, here I see my columns couldn't be tagged. And then I can, for example, select them, isolate those elements, and run Tag from Template again. And this will tag them with the first position available in the template. And if I close and take reset, I can see why it didn't do that. And here I can, of course, change those positions myself for the ones that we were not able to tag from template directly. So that's a way of just making sure that everything is tagged. And of course, you can do that with everything that is not tagged with the template. So I'm going to show you how to create this template yourself, because many times you're going to have different families and different categories than what is in the template we provide, and then you have to do your own template. So in this case, I want to tag all of my structural foundations. I want to tag them with a lead line and a shoulder on that lead line. So I'm going to start with just tagging one of the piles in my project. And then I'm going to open a new project. And this can be just a empty metric template. So I'm going to go to new, open Revit standard. I'm going to select none and open a project and metric. And then I'm going to copy my tag and my pile from this project to my new open project. And to be able to configure my tags, I have to have parameters on them. And to add those parameters, I can go to Naviate Structure, and under Tag from Template, I can do Create Shared Parameters. And it will add shared parameters to the active project on all of the tags. And I will do this for the tag I copied in here now. So now if I go and tag this, tag by category, and then I will define how I want my tag to look. So I would like it to be like this and this. And this should be my first position. And all of that data we have here. So I can edit the priority. I'm also going to rename the type to 1, so it matches the priority. And then I can select if I want the NV tag rotation, what kind of vector move tolerance or vector translation I want. And when I'm done with that, I press OK. And this is going to be my second NV priority. So tag from template are going to try to place this first. If that fails, it's going to place this. If both fails, it's going to try to place this, but try to move it so it fits. And it's also so that if you already have the family in your project, you can rename that. So you can select yourself what kind of family you want to tag with later. If you don't do this, it will always tag with this family. But in my case, I want to change that. So I'm going to go to annotation symbols and my tag. And I'm going to rename this. So tag from template pile. And when I've done this, I can save this as a template and close down this project. So now I'm going to use the template I created for tagging all of my piles here. Then I can go to tag from template and the settings, select a local file and browse to that template I created and select that template. Then I can press OK and run tag from template. And this will create tags with what was loaded. And here again you can see what it didn't manage to tag, and you can tag them if you want by selecting them. But here you can see how it places all of the tags. And it placed it with tag pile mark. Let's say, for example, I want to tag this with type name instead. Tag foundation type name. Then I can go and change that setting in Revit. So if I select all of the tags here and go to annotate and loaded tags and structural foundations done, I can select for my structural foundation that I want the loaded tag to be tag foundation, let's say type name, and press OK. And when I run the tool again now, it will tag with the tag that is loaded in Revit there. So if I run tag from template, it will tag with the family name. It's also important to understand that it will always tag the family and its types. So if I change the family, for example, I have to do a new tagging of that new family in the template. So I'm going to add an obstacle here just to explain a bit more about how the object avoidance works. So for example, if I add some kind of obstruction for my templates, I'm going to do that with a couple of detail lines here, like this. And if I go into Naviate Structure and try to run tag from template now, it will not tag these positions because it cannot create the tags from template. And this is because we haven't given it proper values in the template. So if I open my template again and go into my tag, we have this NV vector move tolerance. So this is a tolerance how much you can accept that the tag is moved to avoid obstacles. So I'm going to set this to a high value, 1000, so it can move a lot. And I'm going to do the same with both type 1 and type 2. Let's see, type 1, 2. Like that. And then I'm going to save this template. And when I go back into my project and run tag from template again, it will move those tags to white space and try to avoid the objects. In new rebar numbering, we have fixed an issue where parameter values were displayed incorrectly when using imperial units in combination with reinforcement rounding. This means that if you go into new rebar numbering and you have already started using the tool and you have all your partitions and you analyze one or multiple of them, everything in that partition will be highlighted and yellow marked for revision. And this is only because we've changed the way we calculate the rounding, but it will still be the same value. So if I go and check my previous values, they will be the same. So to know what's have changed, you have to manually go through the list and check each bar for changes. So I know this have changed for me, so I can manually go in and see the previous value was 24. Then I can apply a revision to this. I also have a new bar here. That should also have a revision. And when I've done that for all the bar that's changed, I can then just clear the revision warnings for the remaining bars, like this. I forgot to save the number. And you have to do this for all of your partitions when you update to the new version of rebar numbering. We also changed the export configuration so it's saved at the level of the project. So all users that work on the same project will have the same export configuration. In Naviate Structure, we have fixed a problem with data conflicts between projects. So previously, if you open multiple projects created by a different version, you will get this data conflict. And here you can cancel the current operation or continue loading the file. And if you take continue loading the file, you may corrupt some of your data for example, new rebar numbering. So in the latest versions, this is fixed and it will not happen going forward. But to fix the old version that had this problem, you can cancel the current operation and then restart Revit and only open the project you want to fix. So I'm going to do that now. So now I have restarted Revit and opened the project that I get the data conflict in. And then I can go to Naviate Accelerate. And under Manage Project, we have a drop-down, which is called Update Schemas. So this will fix my problem for example, new rebar numbering, so I don't get this schema conflict going forward. So I go to Update Schemas and Update Naviate Schemas. And when I've done that, I have to save my project, then go to Manage and Purge Unused, and purge away my old schemas. So they will be under Extensible Storage schemas. So I can select them and press OK. And after that, I can save my project again and this will have fixed the problem with the schemas. Now, when you've done this, it's very important that all of your colleagues working in the same project as you have the latest updated version of Naviate Structure also.